Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Everyday English Academy podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. Thanks for joining us today.
You know, Mike, I noticed something funny this morning. I spent about 5 minutes staring at my keyboard before replying to a simple text message.
Only 5 minutes? That's pretty quick for you.
Hey! But seriously, it was just a yes or no question from a colleague, and there I was, wondering if I should write, sure, or absolutely, or yes, that works.
And let me guess, in the end you wrote, okay?
Exactly. After all that mental gymnastics, I just wrote 2 letters.
Mental gymnastics. That's a fun phrase. It means when your brain does a lot of complicated thinking, like an athlete doing flips and tricks. Your mind is working really hard, maybe too hard.
Right. And that's actually what today's episode is all about. We're diving into something that affects so many English learners, that gap between thinking and actually speaking.
Yeah, you know the feeling. You understand English when you listen. You can read it just fine. But when it's your turn to talk, suddenly your brain freezes.
It's like your brain becomes a computer with too many tabs open.
That's such a good way to describe it. Everything gets slow and nothing works properly.
So today, we're exploring practical ways to bridge that gap. Bridge means to connect 2 things, like a bridge connects 2 sides of a river. We want to connect your thinking to your speaking.
Before we jump in, though, we have a small request. If you're enjoying what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more learners like you.
And drop a comment below telling us, I'm your name, from your country, and one time I stayed silent when I wanted to speak was... We read every single comment, and they help us create better content for you.
Plus, writing that comment is actually practice. You're using English right now, not just absorbing it.
All right, let's talk about today's level. This is a B1 episode, which means intermediate level. The vocabulary is accessible, but we're still having a real, meaningful conversation.
If you're a high beginner, don't click away. You can handle this. Just relax and let the language wash over you. Wash over you means let it flow naturally. Don't force it.
And we'll be highlighting some useful expressions throughout. At the end, we'll review them all slowly, so stick around for that.
Okay, Sarah, let's start with the real stuff. Can you think of a moment when your brain completely betrayed you in English?
Oh, absolutely. I was at a coffee shop last month, nothing fancy. I'd been speaking English all morning, feeling confident. Then the barista asked me a simple question. For here or to go?
That's basic, right?
Super basic. But for some reason, those 4 words scrambled my brain. Scrambled means mixed up, like when you scramble eggs. Everything got confused.
So what happened?
I just stood there, mouth open, eyes blinking. Finally, I pointed at the door and said, "That one."
That one for to go?
I know. The barista looked confused, but smiled and nodded. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, Sarah, you teach English. What just happened?
That must have felt awkward.
So awkward. And the worst part, I walked out and immediately thought of 5 different ways I could have answered. To go, please. I'll take it with me. Not staying, thanks. My brain suddenly became a genius outside the coffee shop.
That's the classic pattern, isn't it? Your brain gives you all the perfect answers when you don't need them anymore.
Exactly. So what about you? Any brain freeze moments?
Oh, I have a good one. I was at a dinner party with some friends. Everyone was speaking English and the conversation was flowing. Flowing means moving smoothly, like water in a river.
Okay, sounds comfortable so far.
It was, until someone asked me directly, Mike, what do you think about that? And suddenly I felt like a deer in headlights.
A deer in headlights, that means frozen with fear or surprise, like when a deer sees car lights and can't move.
Exactly. Everyone was looking at me, waiting. And you know what I said?
What?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's it. That was my entire contribution.
But did you actually have more to say?
Of course. In my head, I had this whole speech prepared. I had opinions, examples, questions. But when I opened my mouth, 3 words.
And I bet after dinner you replayed that moment 100 times.
At least. I was thinking, why didn't I just say what was in my head? Why did I choke?
Choke means to fail at something because you're nervous, like when pressure makes you unable to perform. Athletes talk about choking during important games.
Right. And I think that's what so many learners experience. It's not that they don't know English. It's that something blocks them in the moment.
So let's break that down. What actually creates that block?
Well, fear is a big one. Fear of sounding stupid. Fear of making mistakes. Fear that people will laugh.
I think many learners have this picture in their head of native speakers judging every word they say.
And here's the thing. Most native speakers aren't paying that much attention. They're focused on understanding you, not grading your grammar.
But our brains don't always believe that, right?
Exactly. I remember when I was learning another language, I had this one teacher who corrected every tiny error. She'd stop me mid-sentence and say, No, that's wrong. Say it again.
How did that feel?
Terrible. After a few classes, I started saying less and less. Why risk speaking if every sentence is an opportunity to be corrected?
And that's the problem. One negative experience can create a long-lasting hesitation. Hesitation means that pause, that moment when you stop yourself from doing something.
Then there's the perfectionism trap. Perfectionism is wanting everything to be flawless, without any mistakes. And honestly, it's one of the biggest enemies of language learning.
Because you're waiting for the perfect sentence.
Right. You think, I need to say this with perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, perfect word choice. Meanwhile, the conversation has moved on.
It's like trying to take the perfect photo. You adjust the angle, fix the lighting, try again, and by the time you're ready, the moment is gone.
Such a good comparison. And you end up with no photo and no conversation.
So how do we fix this? How do we go from thinking to talking?
Let's start with mindset. Mindset means your attitude or way of thinking about something.
The first mindset shift is this: communication beats perfection. Beats means is better than, it wins against.
So, a simple sentence that you actually say is worth more than a perfect sentence you keep in your head.
Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in a meeting and you want to share an idea. In your head, you're trying to say, I believe we should consider implementing a different strategy because our current approach isn't yielding the results we anticipated.
That's a mouthful. A mouthful means a lot to say, a long or complicated sentence.
Right, but while you're polishing that sentence, the meeting moves forward. Instead, you could just say, maybe we should try something different. This way isn't working.
Same message, less polish, but you actually said it.
Exactly. And here's the secret. Native speakers use simple sentences all the time. We're not walking around speaking like textbooks.
No, we definitely aren't. We use short phrases, incomplete sentences, simple words. And that's totally normal.
So, tool number 1, give yourself permission to be simple. You don't need to impress anyone with fancy vocabulary.
Tool number 2, start with what I call conversation starters. These are tiny phrases that buy you time. Buy you time means give you extra seconds to think.
Like what?
Things like, well, let me think. That's a good question.
These are called fillers, right? Fillers are sounds or words we use to fill silence while we're thinking.
Exactly. Native speakers use them constantly. They give your brain a moment to organize your next sentence.
So instead of panicking in silence, you say, let me think. And suddenly you have 3 extra seconds to find your words.
Right. It also shows you're engaged. You're thinking about the question. It's better than dead silence.
Tool number 3, build your emergency kit. Emergency kit means a collection of things you keep ready for urgent situations.
In this case, it's a collection of go-to phrases. Go-to means your first choice, what you always rely on. These are sentences you practice so much they become automatic.
For example, if someone speaks too fast, sorry, could you slow down a bit?
If you didn't understand something, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat it?
If you need to check your understanding, so you're saying, and then repeat what you heard.
These phrases are like safety nets. Safety net means something that protects you if you fall or make a mistake.
When you know you have these phrases ready, you feel braver about entering conversations.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about practice environments. Environments means the situations or places where you do something.
The best way to get comfortable speaking is to start in low-stakes situations. Low stakes means the consequences aren't serious. There's not much risk.
Right. You don't start by giving a presentation to your entire company. You start small.
One idea is speaking to yourself while doing everyday activities. Like when you're making breakfast, narrate what you're doing. Narrate means to tell the story of what's happening.
I'm putting bread in the toaster. Now I'm waiting for it to pop up. Okay, it's ready. Time to add butter.
It sounds silly, but it's incredibly helpful. Your mouth gets used to forming English sentences without any pressure.
Another option is recording voice memos on your phone. Just talk about your day for 30 seconds.
Today was busy. I had 3 meetings. I'm tired, but happy. Tomorrow I want to wake up earlier.
Short, simple, real. And the beauty is, no one is listening except you.
You can also find a language partner who's also learning, someone at your level, so you're both making mistakes together.
That takes away the fear because you're both in the same boat. In the same boat means in the same situation, facing the same challenges.
Exactly. You can laugh about mistakes together instead of feeling embarrassed.
Now, here's something important. We need to talk about your inner voice. Your inner voice is the way you talk to yourself in your head.
For many learners, that inner voice is harsh. Harsh means unkind, too critical, very strict.
It says things like, "You sound terrible. Everyone is judging you. You'll never be good at this."
And if that's the voice in your head, of course you don't want to speak.
So we need to change the script.
Change the script means to rewrite what we tell ourselves, to change the story.
Instead of I'm terrible at English, try I'm still learning, and that's okay.
Instead of I always make mistakes, say mistakes help me improve.
Instead of everyone will laugh at me, think most people respect someone trying to speak another language.
These small shifts in your self-talk really matter. Self-talk means how you speak to yourself, the thoughts you have about yourself.
Because the truth is, you are being brave. Speaking another language is courageous. Courageous means brave, showing courage.
Absolutely. Most people can't do what you're doing right now, learning and using another language.
All right, let's give our listeners a challenge, a tiny one.
Today, speak one English sentence out loud. Just one. It can be to a person, to your pet, to your mirror, or into your phone.
It could be something like, I'm practicing my English today. Or, I want to be more confident when I speak. Or even just, this podcast is helping me.
Don't wait for confidence to appear magically. Confidence comes from doing, not from waiting.
And if you want to take it further, write in the comments, I'm blank, your name, from blank, your country, and one time I stayed silent when I wanted to speak was blank. And finish that sentence.
We'll read them, and you'll see you're not alone. We're all working on this together.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do our vocabulary review. Vocabulary review means looking back at the important words we learned. Let's go through them nice and slow.
First one, mental gymnastics. This means doing a lot of complicated thinking, like an athlete doing tricks. I did mental gymnastics trying to write that email.
Bridge, as a verb, it means to connect two things. I want to bridge the gap between my thinking and speaking.
Scrambled means mixed up or confused. The unexpected question scrambled my thoughts.
Flowing, moving smoothly and easily. The conversation was flowing until someone asked me a direct question.
A deer in headlights, frozen with fear or surprise. When everyone looked at me, I felt like a deer in headlights.
Choke, to fail because of nervousness or pressure. I choked during the presentation, even though I knew the material.
Hesitation, that pause or moment when you stop yourself. My hesitation comes from fear of making mistakes.
Beats means is better than, wins against. Clear communication beats perfect grammar.
A mouthful, a long or complicated thing to say. That sentence is such a mouthful. Let's simplify it.
Buy you time, give you extra seconds to think. Saying, that's a good question, buys you time to organize your answer.
Go to, your first choice, what you rely on. That's my go-to phrase when I don't understand something.
Naggle means small, irritating things. The naggle of a runny nose during a presentation.
Safety net, something that protects you if you make a mistake. Having ready phrases is like having a safety net.
Low stakes, not much risk, consequences aren't serious. Practice in low-stakes situations first, like talking to yourself.
Narrate, to tell the story of what's happening. I narrate my morning routine in English for practice.
In the same boat, in the same situation, facing the same challenges. Language learners are all in the same boat.
Harsh, unkind, too critical, very strict. Don't be harsh with yourself when you make mistakes.
Change the script. Rewrite what you tell yourself. It's time to change the script and be kinder to yourself.
Self-talk, how you speak to yourself, your inner thoughts. Positive self-talk makes a huge difference in confidence.
And finally, courageous, brave, showing courage. Speaking another language is a courageous act.
There you have it. Feel free to listen to this section again and repeat the examples with us.
Remember, you don't need to transform overnight. Small steps count. Even one sentence today is movement forward.
Your English journey is unique. Don't compare yourself to others. Just compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
If this episode resonated with you, resonated means connected with you emotionally, felt meaningful. Please share it with someone who might need to hear this.
Thank you so much for learning with us today. We're proud of you for showing up and trying.
Keep speaking, even when it's scary, even when it's messy. Your voice deserves to be heard.
This has been the Everyday English Academy podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sarah.
Until next time, be brave with your words.
And remember, progress over perfection, always.
Bye.